There's a couple in Dallas earning a combined $180,000 a year. They drive matching luxury SUVs. Their kitchen has marble countertops, smart appliances, and a wine fridge they barely use. Every vacation becomes a photo carousel on Instagram. Every holiday includes coordinated outfits, professional photography, and gifts expensive enough to impress relatives they secretly dislike. From the outside, they look successful, stable, comfortable. Last month, their water heater broke. They put the repair on a credit card. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're lazy, because after the mortgage, car payments, subscriptions, daycare, restaurants, vacations, furniture financing, and endless small upgrades designed to maintain the appearance of success, there wasn't enough cash left to absorb a $2,400 emergency without stress. This is becoming normal. America's middle class isn't just spending money anymore. It's performing wealth, quietly, constantly, exhaustingly, and the performance never ends. The pressure starts early. You graduate college and immediately learn the unwritten rule of adulthood. Looking financially successful matters almost as much as becoming financially successful. Maybe more. The apartment can't just be functional. It has to look aesthetic. The car can't just run reliably. It has to signal progress. Your clothes can't simply fit. They have to communicate taste, ambition, status, identity. Modern consumer culture turned ordinary people into personal brands. Everything became public. Your meals, your vacations, your home, your purchases, your routines, your lifestyle. And once life becomes performance, spending becomes reputation management. That's the part nobody says out loud. A shocking amount of middle-class spending has nothing to do with enjoyment. It has to do with avoiding judgment. People aren't buying things because they deeply value them. They're buying things because they fear what others will assume if they don't. The luxury SUV says you're doing well. The expensive skincare routine says you take care of yourself. The upgraded kitchen says you've made it. The private school says you're a good parent. The designer sneakers say you still matter culturally. The vacation photos say your marriage is thriving. The constant restaurant visits say life is exciting. The purchases become social armor, and social armor is expensive. What makes this dangerous is how invisible the addiction feels. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to destroy my finances to impress acquaintances. The process happens gradually. One upgrade at a time, one subscription at a time, one lifestyle adjustment at a time, a nicer apartment, a newer phone, a better gym, a trendier neighborhood, a luxury gym membership, organic groceries, brunch every weekend, concert tickets, streaming subscriptions, premium luggage, smart home gadgets. Each decision feels small, reasonable even. But together they create a financial life where appearance consumes everything. This is why so many middle-class households now earn good money while feeling permanently anxious. Their income increased. Their lifestyle expanded faster. According to multiple recent financial surveys, a large percentage of six-figure earners still live paycheck to paycheck. Not because six figures is poverty, because modern middle-class culture quietly redefined what normal spending looks like. The middle class used to pursue stability. Now it pursues visible success. Those are completely different goals. Stability is boring. Stability looks repetitive. Stability often looks unimpressive from the outside. It means driving cars longer than social media says you should, living below your means, repeating outfits, cooking at home, delaying upgrades, saying no frequently. Visible success is much louder. Visible success gets validation. That validation becomes chemically rewarding. Likes, compliments, attention, envy, social approval. People start mistaking external admiration for internal security. But admiration doesn't pay bills. There's a strange contradiction at the center of modern consumerism. The more financially stretched people become, the more important appearances often feel. Because once someone's identity becomes attached to looking successful, downgrading feels emotionally devastating. Selling the luxury car doesn't feel like changing transportation. It feels like public humiliation. Moving to a smaller apartment doesn't feel practical. It feels like failure. Canceling expensive vacations feels like falling behind. This is where status anxiety takes over. Status anxiety is the fear that your life no longer looks impressive enough compared to the people around you. And social media multiplied this fear to an extreme level, humans were never designed for. 30 years ago, people compared themselves to neighbors and coworkers. Today, they compare themselves to celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, fitness creators, finance gurus, and carefully edited versions of ordinary people pretending their lives are effortless. You're no longer competing with reality. You're competing with performance. And performance has no finish line. Watch what happens online. Someone buys a normal car and nobody notices. Someone buys a luxury vehicle and suddenly the comments fill with admiration. Someone posts themselves investing quietly into retirement accounts and almost nobody engages. Someone posts a shopping spree and the algorithm pushes it everywhere. Modern culture rewards visible consumption more than invisible discipline. That changes people psychologically. Quiet financial responsibility starts feeling emotionally unrewarding compared to visible lifestyle upgrades. A person saving aggressively for retirement gets no applause. A person posting rooftop cocktails in Dubai gets instant validation from thousands of strangers. One behavior builds wealth, the other builds appearance. Most people know which one looks more exciting online. The middle class became trapped between financial reality and cultural expectation, and corporations understand this perfectly. That's why marketing stopped selling products years ago. Now it sells identity. The watch isn't a watch anymore. It's ambition. The car isn't transportation, it's status. The sneakers aren't shoes, they're relevance. The apartment isn't shelter, it's self-expression. Every advertisement quietly asks the same question: who are you without this? That question terrifies people more than they realize. Because many adults no longer know where identity ends and consumption begins. You can see it in the panic people feel when trends change. Suddenly their kitchen looks outdated. Their wardrobe feels embarrassing. Their furniture isn't modern enough. Their phone seems old after only 2 years. Perfectly functional items now trigger emotional discomfort simply because culture moved on. That discomfort becomes profitable. Entire industries survive by convincing middle-class people that normality is unacceptable. Your bathroom needs upgrading, your body needs improving, your wardrobe needs refreshing, your home needs renovating, your lifestyle needs elevating. Always elevating, never arriving. The result is a population that spends enormous amounts of money trying to avoid feeling ordinary. But here's the irony. Most actually wealthy people don't behave this way at all. Studies on real millionaires consistently show that many live in average neighborhoods, drive modest cars, and avoid lifestyle inflation far more than upper-middle-class consumers chasing appearances. Because people building wealth understand something the performance class doesn't. Every visible luxury has an invisible cost. The luxury car costs optionality. The oversized mortgage costs freedom. The constant upgrading costs peace. The designer lifestyle costs flexibility. The middle class often sacrifices long-term security for short-term signaling. Not intentionally, culturally. That distinction matters. Nobody forced people into these habits individually, but collectively, society normalized financial self-destruction as aspiration. And once everyone around you participates, resisting starts feeling socially uncomfortable. The person declining expensive dinners becomes cheap. The friend still using an old phone becomes behind. The couple avoiding luxury vacations becomes boring. The family choosing financial caution over lifestyle upgrades starts looking unsuccessful compared to people drowning in debt. Reality becomes distorted. The financially responsible person often looks poorer than the financially reckless one, until an emergency happens. That's when the illusion collapses. A layoff, a medical issue, a divorce, a recession, a broken transmission, a sudden rent increase. Suddenly, the person with the curated lifestyle realizes they built an image instead of a foundation. And the scary part is how many middle-class people privately know this already. That's why financial content exploded online over the last few years. Deep down, millions of people feel exhausted by the pressure to constantly perform prosperity. They're tired of financing identities, tired of upgrading things that work perfectly, tired of pretending expensive consumption equals happiness, tired of feeling behind no matter how much they earn, because the truth eventually becomes impossible to ignore. The people who look richest are often under the most pressure. The massive house requires massive payments. The luxury lifestyle requires continuous income. The curated image requires constant maintenance. Everything becomes fragile. Real wealth works differently. Real wealth buys silence. It buys time. It buys flexibility. It buys the ability to stop performing. That's why truly wealthy people often appear strangely calm compared to aspirational middle-class consumers. They're not trying to prove anything anymore. The middle class often confuses looking expensive with being financially secure. Those are opposites surprisingly often. Someone driving a paid-off Toyota with a large investment portfolio is financially stronger than someone leasing a BMW while carrying credit card debt. But culturally, the BMW receives more admiration. That's the trap. Modern society became incredibly skilled at rewarding the appearance of wealth while ignoring the behaviors that actually create it. And once someone internalizes those rewards, rational financial behavior starts feeling emotionally unsatisfying. Saving feels invisible. Discipline feels boring. Patience feels unrewarded. Consumption feels exciting immediately. That's why this cycle keeps accelerating. The middle class isn't addicted to luxury itself. It's addicted to what luxury appears to communicate: importance, progress, status, identity, success, worth. But objects can't permanently provide those feelings. So people keep buying more, upgrading more, spending more, hoping the next purchase finally creates the emotional security the previous purchases failed to deliver. It never does, because insecurity cannot be solved through consumption, only temporarily distracted. And maybe that's the real tragedy underneath modern consumer culture. Millions of people who are financially capable of building peaceful, stable, secure lives instead spend decades chasing visual proof that they matter. Not because they're stupid, because they absorbed a culture that taught them visibility is value. But real financial freedom is almost invisible. It looks like margin. It looks like savings. It looks like low stress. It looks like flexibility. It looks like sleeping peacefully at night. Most of the time, it doesn't even look rich. And that's exactly why so many people miss it.